Terrifying storefront crashes happen here in Maryland and around the country. Cars driving right into stores, hitting and even killing the people inside. This morning, a Maryland man who nearly died shares his horrifying story. Marcus Washington investigates this growing danger.
Out of control cars, driving right into stores, slamming into customers and employees.
Okay, 911. Help, please.
In September, an SUV rams into an Ellicott City Dunkin' Donuts,
A car just crashed into the front of a Dunkin' Donuts.
hitting two men outside, pinning them between the car and the building. Medics rushed them to the hospital.
That incident that day happened so fast that the two people walking on the sidewalk weren't able to get out of the way quick enough.
These types of crashes happening at an alarming rate. Just ask Mark Wright. He's inside a Montgomery County 7-Eleven in 2008 getting a soda like he normally does when a car crashes through straight at him.
Bam, it just kept coming. That fast, it was into me, crashing through me, pushing me back inside of the store.
You're lying there, bloody. Did you think you were going to die?
It was almost like everything just ground to a halt for what felt like a long time. I'm sure it was only seconds, you know. Everybody in the store was just, we were all just in shock.
Doctors tell Mark the damage is so severe, it looks like he's been in a war zone.
It's a military-grade injury in the sense that if you stepped on an IED and you still had a leg attached, you know, it would do this kind of damage.
Over 8 months of rehab, Mark wonders if he's alone and if anything can be done to stop this from happening.
What motivated you to do something and put in the work for the research?
Number one, I lived, I survived, so I felt a certain sense of obligation to just do something. Number two, I recognized from the research that a lot of other people were affected by this.
Mark starts the Volunteer Storefront Safety Council after discovering no government agency tracks these crashes. His research shows an estimated 60 times a day a car strikes a building somewhere in the United States.
There have been a number of fatalities from these kinds of accidents.
There's a simple solution to keeping cars out of stores. There are concrete pillars and barriers or metal ones like these at Safeway. And if you pay attention to stores across Maryland, you will notice them. And you will also notice many stores without them.
Safeway tells WJZ the barriers are worth it.
They pay for themselves very, very quickly. And so we just think it's important to have them there, creating that environment of safety.
What do you say to companies who think putting up a barrier is just too costly?
I say you're living on borrowed time. If you've got parking spaces where vehicles are pulling right up to your building, it's like aiming a loaded gun at a building or at a bunch of people. And the person with the steering wheel is the one with the trigger.
Wow, Marcus, and when he describes it like that, a car is a weapon. It's like pointing a loaded gun at a building. That makes it seem so serious.
It is, and it's kind of surprising that more stores don't actually have those barriers in front because they truly do save lives. And, you know, we've seen it not just here in Maryland, we've seen it all over the country. And even when you look at that video, you're kind of, it's just shocking to look at that video and see that this has happened time and time again.
And to be honest with those barriers, you know, I've seen them my whole life, but I never really thought about what they were there for until I saw your story. I didn't know what they were there for.
You're not the first person to say that. A lot of people don't know. I think I may have found out a few years ago, but you know, a lot of people put them up in front of their stores to protect, you know, customers, to protect the store, because we've heard a lot of people where, you know, a senior citizen may have, you know, pushed the wrong, thinking they're pushing the brake, and then they push the gas, and then they're going right through the store. So this is really to protect people, and hopefully more stores will put them in.
And now it's something that every time I go out, I'm gonna notice them from now on for sure.
Right, you're gonna notice them and know that they are there to protect you.
For our safety. All right, well, really educational. Marcus, thank you for that story.